Alrighty, guys, let's connect it up. Let's see what we get set here. Coming at you today, August 29th, 2021. It's crazy to think it's the end of August, but we're going to talk about The Walking Dead. So put the disclaimer out. It says it in the title, but some people don't care. Spoiler warning if you're watching this on the replay. And I don't think I'm ever going to get used to the fact that AMC Plus and AMC aren't on the same schedule. So I've watched my trigger stuck. First comment, hello. So I think that it's weird, that it's going to be weird all season, all the different things. Negan won. That we're going to be ahead. If you watch it on AMC Plus, or however you watch it, if you get early access, that you get to watch the episodes early. Before it was the Thursday before the Sunday, so it was the same week that the episode aired, and that was pretty cool. And I still think that was still a good thing to have ahead of time. But now you're a week ahead if you're watching all the episodes early on AMC Plus. So it's still Sunday. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody that's not here. So we'll talk about the first episode, then the last half hour. We'll talk about the second and third episodes. So I watched the third episode this morning with my wife, and it's a good episode. All three episodes so far I've enjoyed. People are like, The Walking Dead's back. Well, to me, The Walking Dead never left. To say The Walking Dead's back, I don't think it's ever going to be the same as seasons 4, 5, and 6. It's just not going to be that same amount of people watching it, the same caliber of writing, the same just interesting story. But it's going to be entertaining. I think it's been always entertaining. So Jonathan Wilder asked me about the wrestling. Did you hear CM Punk? I didn't hear him. I didn't watch him. I haven't heard anything. I just know that he's back on AEW. I'm not a big CM Punk fan. That's my guy. That's after the fact of the golden age of wrestling in the 80s and 90s. So it's just after my time. So I haven't watched it. But I'm excited for the Walking Dead universe to be taking over Sundays, because it's going to be take over Sundays for the rest of the year. So the fact that we're going to be talking about The Walking Dead and then World Beyond and Fear the Walking Dead come October, I think even September. I think it's the end of September when you're going to be able to watch The Walking Dead World Beyond, the first episode on AMC Plus. And I think they're going to keep it on Sundays. So the Sunday stuff is going to stick around probably for the rest of the Walking Dead universe stuff. So they want you to buy AMC Plus so you get early access. And is it a misstep? Is it not? I like it because I can get to it and have access to it. If people don't, it kind of sucks for them. And I feel for them, right? Like, people watch it on AMC. You probably got to stay away from spoilers, social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff. And I'm trying to not put stuff in the thumbnails and in the titles, but I kind of put a picture of the episode in the thumbnail that I'm reviewing or talking about, because that's kind of what has to be done. But overall, season 11, the final season, 8 episodes each, 3 parts, 8 episodes, break, 8 episodes, break, 8 episodes, so 24 episodes. And it's definitely something that I've seen on a bunch of different stuff, on different, Facebook groups and social media and everything, that people are posting a lot of different stuff all over the place. All right, they're posting a lot of different things like, I thought the episodes were this. When are the episodes airing on AMC? I just hope, I tell people all the time in Facebook groups and tell them Sunday mornings at like 3 a.m. in the morning, I believe East Coast time, you can watch the new episode on AMC Plus. I don't watch it at 3 in the morning. I watch it later on in the same morning, Sunday morning. AMC is going to be a week behind AMC Plus. So I don't know. It's one of those things, we got to get used to it. Spoilers are going to happen. I'm sure the spoilers are coming out for episode 3, because when stuff happens in the episodes, people have diarrhea of the mouth anyway. But as soon as they get a piece of information, it's ready to go. I can't wait to share it. And I understand that. I can't wait to, I'm a pretty new pet. Tommy Boy, anyone? Tommy Boy? But you like to just say stuff, and there's people that have come to all social media on there that they get to watch it early and they talk about it too. So let me just talk about a couple things outside The Walking Dead as I remind myself. If you want to watch anything on Netflix, I recommend a documentary talking about Bob Ross. I think it's called Bob Ross, A Story of Greed and something. But if you probably put in Bob Ross documentary, it's going to come up in the chat and the search. And if you don't know who Bob Ross is, shame on you. No, he's the painter that it's going to talk on there. Joey the Gator. How was the episode today? It was very good. I have a review. Go check it out on YouTube. I have episode 3 review if you want to check it out. If not, it's a good episode. I highly recommend it. He said I couldn't watch it on AMC Plus because I have no power due to the hurricane. Sorry, Joey. I was going to bring up the hurricane, but since you talked about it, if you are in the panhandle of Florida, New Orleans, anywhere related to Hurricane Ida, be safe. Hopefully you evacuated if you were in an evacuation zone. I know how serious it is about, hurricanes. I think it's a hurricane category 4 when it was going to land. I want to say that it's the exact date, 16 years ago, I believe, with Hurricane Katrina, they were saying. So that's crazy. Hopefully they fix the levees and all that stuff too, but be safe wherever you're at, that's for sure. But to check out a Bob Ross documentary, I know Melissa McBride and her husband, Ben Falcone, they have different last names, but they're married. They were involved with making it. It's interesting. It's a good story and a bad story, but it's a great documentary. And Bob Ross used to do a painting in a half hour on PBS, and there's a lot of crazy things about the story. Don't know what's exactly true, what's not, but we'll definitely check it out on there too. My book series, Fight for Us, book 15 will be titled Captured. I have 5 chapters left of my first edit. My wife is on chapter 5, I believe. So there's 18 chapters. We're getting there really good. So we're definitely excited to have that come out. I'm thinking October-ish. So Fight for Us Captured will be there too. Pretty cool stuff. I'm very excited to share that with you. The story is definitely shaking things up. We'll just go with that. And it's really, really cool too. So, Krista Duggan says, Q&A, do you think Father Gabriel could get some form of his comic death from the Reapers instead of the Whispers? I do not think so. I don't think it's going to happen at all. I know if you're a comic reader and if the comic does something, right? Like, so the comic fans know about the ending of the comic, certain deaths with the Commonwealth, stuff with the Whispers, stuff with Father Gabriel. This happened there, that happened there. How's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? It should happen on the show. And it's probably frustrating if you read the comic and you're waiting for stuff to happen on the show and it doesn't happen, or it doesn't happen in a way you're expecting. Or maybe it's good to shake it up a little bit. Like, I think so. I don't think we need the water tower death. We don't need the water tower death for Father Gabriel. Father Gabriel, Seth Gilliam does a great job on the show. I think he's come a long way since his introduction when we hated him, right? There was no way you liked Father Gabriel at the beginning. And then he's changed multiple times. I don't know how he's so good with a shotgun and fighting and everything with the one eye, because the depth perception would definitely play a factor in it. But it's fictional. He has kind of a big, not a big moment, but a moment in the episode 1103, but we'll talk about that in the last half hour. But 1101, good start to the show. We pick it up with the Lurkers. And a lot of people are wondering, why do we have sleepy, tired walkers that are basically hibernating? And that's a great question. I think that, what's up, Mike? I think that they're trying to play with storytelling and continuity of the walkers in a way that suits them, right? Why are there so many walkers still around? How did the walkers stay alive? I kind of want to know. I don't know if but I know I want to know a little bit more about the I guess, start of the zombie apocalypse, a little bit more what makes the zombies or the walkers or the lurkers or whatever we're calling the walkers, a little bit more about them. They don't have to answer everything. They do have to give me a little bit more so it explains things, but they probably won't. I don't see them talking about the start of the zombie apocalypse, the start of the walkers, the changing of the walkers, how it suits them. When in doubt, it's just going to suit them for the story. Like, how do walkers still sneak up on people? How do they not? I don't know. But stuff happens, and it's just one of those things where you got to roll with it, and it's all good. Mato asks, how did you enjoy the episode 3? I liked it very much. I'll talk about that in the last half hour. So in 20 minutes, we'll be talking about episodes 2 and 3. But the first 2 episodes, Acheron Part 1 and Part 2, I kind of wish they were back to back in the same hour. Well, it wouldn't be the same hour because I think one's like 40 minutes. They're about like, so it'd be like 80 minutes of episode. So that's an hour and 20 minutes. So then you could have had a 2-hour opening, but then we have both episodes. So, because there was a talk that it was going to be a 2-hour premiere, but it wasn't because they decided to have episode 1101 and 1102. And I know why they broke it up, and it's fine, but it rolls right into each other. And I believe they wrote episode 1 and 2 like together. It just makes sense too. So, that's a great question, Mato. How do you think The Walking Dead show will end? I think that's a great poll question for you guys. How do you think The Walking Dead will end? And why do you want Michonne and Rick to come back? No, I'm just kidding. So I'm going to make a separate video of that during the break when we have the 8 episodes. So probably like, I don't know, October, November, December, around that time, maybe even January. Probably January because it makes sense because next year is the last year of The Walking Dead main show. We have still a long time, right? So even if you watch 1103, you still have over 20 episodes left of a show. It's still a long time. It's one of those things where they've given us too much information. Should they have told us at the final season? Yes and no. Should they have told us about the Carol and Daryl show? Probably not. Should they have told us about so many things they have? I don't know. So I like the idea of them keeping certain things quiet. But I do like most information we can get, and once you start to get information, it's hard. It's hard to not keep trying to get it. Joey the Gator Q&A: when do you think we'll see Prince get a boyfriend? So I guess Princess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're going to do that whole angle with Princess and Mercer or Princess and Ezekiel or what's going to happen there. I do like the Commonwealth angle they've already had with it. With Eugene, Yumiko, Princess, and Ezekiel. I like that group of 4, having the interview process. It does feel like they're all smaller characters that are getting more time to shine. If it was Michonne or the comic angle with her daughter, it would probably steal the Commonwealth arc. But I like the little things they're having with Yumiko and Eugene and Stephanie and Princess and Ezekiel, and I like how they're trying to divide the story up equally, and I think it's working, and it definitely is something that's stepping in the right directions too. So let me see. Tommy Martin Cromie, do you think we will get Judith and her son or daughter with a whole time jump by the end of the season? I don't know. That's a big question. That's most likely if you're a comic reader, you'll kind of think that Judith is going to take over their Carl angle because Carl's not around and Carl's not part of the show anymore. And will we get a Carl callback, flashback? Will we see a Rick connection, Michonne connection somehow? Glenn even showing up? Because tonight's episode of Talking Dead has Eugene, Maggie, and Beth. So what is Beth doing there? And remember, Talking Dead is for episode 1102, the episode that airs tonight on AMC. So I have no idea why Beth is going to show up there on Talking Dead. You know, Emily Kinney, that's fine. She is the sister of Maggie. Does it make sense? I don't know, but there's definitely other people they could have brought there. So yeah, it's literally Eugene, Maggie, and Beth on tonight's Talking Dead episode. You can look it up and check it or watch it tonight, and to me, it doesn't make too much sense. I know that the first episode of Talking Dead, I didn't watch it because I've already seen the episode, and I might go back and watch Talking Dead, but I want to say it was Angela Kang, Princess, and Negan, and it fits because Negan is really stealing the show for a lot of aspects in the first 3 episodes. And whether you like Negan or not, he's entertaining. He's very important for the show, especially it's no Rick, no Michonne. It makes sense on a lot of parts. So It's pretty interesting. Negan is definitely a huge character still in the Walking Dead universe. He was kept alive for the angle with Alpha and still for stuff right now too. Pretty awesome stuff. Joey's asked, do you think we'll have any more news on the Rick Grimes movies because it's taking a long time? I don't know. I don't know, Joey the Gator. I hope so. It makes sense. They should, but I don't even think they know, because if it was Nicotero or somebody that was involved with it, they would be having information. They're trying to get the script. It's all the same crap every couple months that come up. We're trying to get the script right. COVID-19 pushed it back, delayed it. We're trying to do these things right. We're working on it so it's done the right way. And that's all we ever hear. And production of films and movies, shows, whatever, they're still going. So if you're probably, the movie would probably be an hour and a half. I think that's the shortest allowable time for a movie, a motion picture. I don't know. It really is, though, if you see it there too. So I don't know. I really don't know what the process of them doing it is, because if you watch an episode of The Walking Dead, it's about 40, 41 minutes typically. You watch 2 episodes, that's 82 minutes. That's basically a movie. Like Acheron Part 1 and Part 2 was like a movie. They filmed that in 4 weeks, in a month. They filmed those because they film Monday through Friday, so 5 days, 10, 15, 20 days. And that's crazy to think that they can film. They're into the second part of season 11 already. They're doing great. They probably have their good COVID protocols. I don't know. Are they really waiting to finish the main Walking Dead show and then start filming the movie? Because how many people would they take from The Walking Dead season 11 to film the movie? You need a writer or writers, directors, producers, sound guys, craft services, lighting guys, practical effect guys, digital effect guys, and girls, but I'm just saying guys is the general term. But people, can you take people from The Walking Dead to do both? Because I know when you give me 10 things to do and I already have 5, now I have 15 things to do. I don't know if I can do everything so well if I just had those 5 things to do versus the 10. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have the practical effects, right, digital effects people, and they got to work on a movie and a show and another show and a spin-off and a Tales of the Walking Dead, whatever, how they're doing it, how are they going to do all this? I don't know. If it seems to me, if the main show doesn't end, if the main show ends and we don't have anything of the Walking Dead movie, I don't know what they're going to do, because I don't know why there's no reason for them not to start the movies come next March, because that's when the filming is going to be done. They're going to film the couple of days in August. So you have September, October, November, December, which they're not going to probably film after November. So could they start filming in November or December? I don't know if Andy Lincoln's going to be here, if he's going to be at home in England with his family. Do they plan to? Can they film a movie in a month? Sure. Will they? I don't know. But they may start filming next April, because the Walking Dead main show will be done filming. So they could start then, because the production will be done, all that. So if they don't start filming next April or May, I just don't know what is going to happen there too. So, Mato, do you think we will get a Reaper's backstory in episode 4? I think we're going to get, some stuff. Yeah. Mike Allen says, you're a writer, write the script. Writing a script for a movie and TV show is definitely different than writing a book. The format of it is different. Like, I've looked at different scripts. I actually have the script of the first Walking Dead episode, and how they write it with like exterior day, exterior night, interior day, interior night. Like, you have to have the scene, the area, and then it's got to be, it's totally different how you write a book. And just the style of writing is probably why they have writers and going to college and stuff for it. Being screenplay writers, there's just different. It's just totally different. But what do I know? I'm just an amateur writer. But, it'd be pretty cool. I would love to do that. So maybe I'll write a Fight For Us script. That would be the dream, to get that stuff made. Still is. Lady Hotep says, because they have to work on their spinoffs, right? Yeah, I don't know. Because so you're going to have the Walking Dead show. That's going to end. You're going to have the Daryl and Carol spinoff show. They're probably going to take some time off, because it's, film. And then Tales of the Walking Dead is filming. Not sure if they're going to have a Negan show or anything there too, but I don't know what their plan is after there as well. But let's get back on track of The Walking Dead. Well, let me talk about The World Beyond a little bit before I get into the episodes 2 and 3. So The World Beyond has a promo teaser trailer. I don't know. There's some people in the comments that are like, it's not a trailer. Well, it is a trailer. To me, a trailer is clips and parts from the actual season or show or movie or whatever. That's not promo photos. It's actual clips of stuff of acting out. So call it a teaser trailer, whatever. It's a trailer of season 2 of The World Beyond. And you get to see some different things. They give some stuff away. I don't know if you like The World Beyond. I don't know if you liked the first season or not, but I'm going to watch it. I enjoyed it. I'm excited for the second season. It's going to be the final season. It's only going to be 2 seasons. That was the plan a while ago. So I'm excited to see where it goes. They really need to expand the world of The Walking Dead and explain about the Civic Republic military, a connection with Rick, Michonne, somebody, somehow, some way, maybe even Isabel, Fear the Walking Dead, Jadis, somehow. If Jadis doesn't show up, it seems like it's a really missed opportunity for stuff. So I don't know what the plan is for it, but you get to see Hope, Iris, Silas, Dr. Bennett, Huck, Elizabeth Kublik, a bunch of different things, the other, Dr. Belshaw. You get to see all the different characters there. Percy, you get to see everything come around. Will, Felix, you get to see where these people have been, where they're going, if they're at Omaha, if they're in Pennsylvania, New York, Ithaca. It's just a lot of big things. So I'm excited to see where it happens with it, and hopefully it's not a waste of time. And I just didn't waste 2 seasons of a show to see these kids. I hope it's worthwhile, and I think it will be. My Trigger Stuck says, I was an extra in The World Beyond in Virginia. Not a fan of that series, but was fun. So that's cool. I mean, if I was an extra, I would want to see it. Hopefully you watched all the season and got to see how it is. And, hopefully you were, where were you at? Were you in the campus colony? Because there was a lot of people there, so that would be a lot of extras, I would assume too. So, Jonathan Wilder is asking about Negan and Maggie. If Negan and Maggie end up together, that is like the stupidest soap opera thing ever, right? So, but it could happen. I don't think it will, but never say never, right? So, I was talking about The World Beyond and Gimple and how people want Rick to show up in The World Beyond, but Gimple has said that it's not going to happen. Rick's not going to be on the show. Maybe some locations that he was at we get to see those locations, but we're not going to see Rick, open a door and there's Rick Grimes walking out. Like, hey, Rick! Oh. But then the person was like, yeah, and Facebook, I don't trust Gimple. And maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't, but I don't think Gimple has lied about projects that were supposed to happen and they didn't happen. Or something was supposed to didn't happen and it did. I don't really think any of that happened. I don't think when in doubt, he doesn't say things. He's like, he doesn't answer any questions. So if he doesn't answer anything, he's just omitting a response or a question or an answer to a question. So that's a big difference. And it's kind of like Negan, right? So Negan, Maggie basically said to Negan, like, I think about killing you every day. And she basically told the group and Negan that she wants to take Negan out. That, that's the best way to do it, where you don't have to worry about Negan anymore. But the writers are going to use that as, Negan's actually useful, helpful, a really good fighter, a survivor in the zombie apocalypse. He's going to save Maggie, help Maggie. So it's going to be one of those things where the person hates this person and they hate each other, but they need to work together. And so how do they do this? How do they do that? I don't want to see them end up together. That'd be weird, and it just wouldn't make sense. Like, how could you think that Maggie would fall in love with the person that killed her husband? And then there's Herschel, the son of Glenn. It just would be so weird. But not to say it won't happen, but I don't know. It's just weird. It's just something that doesn't make sense. And what's really paying off for them is they have a mutual enemy, which is the Reapers, right? I mean, that's kind of what brings people together more than anything, is a mutual enemy. They have to work together to do this. They have to work together to survive. And everybody wants to survive, right? Maggie, Daryl, Carol, everybody. Everybody's there to have that too. So, Naggy shippers. That's funny. Beaver says, Kylie says, Herschel's going to kill him. All caps. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's a big question. Is Negan going to get the death in the Commonwealth, or a death at the Commonwealth, by Herschel, by Sebastian Milton, by somebody else, by Maggie, by Judith? Who knows, right? Who knows what's going to happen? But overall, hopefully you guys have seen a couple episodes of The Walking Dead, first, second, or third episode, and I'm enjoying every episode. There's always going to be questionable things like, well, how do they do this? How do these walkers wake up and not? I guess the walker that bit Herschel in the prison was sleeping too, and it was a lurker. How do walkers sneak up on people? How do they, how do they see in the dark? It makes no sense. But walkers are sneaking up on people still. They're biting people's arms. Why do you have exposed skin in the zombie apocalypse? So it's one of those things where you have to just roll with it, laugh at some things. Some things make sense. Some things don't make sense. And, even when I watch a show like Titans on HBO Max, it's a good, superhero show in the DC universe. But there's questionable things that happen that work out with Starfire and whatever. It's like, what, huh? How'd that happen? No, come on, right? But you just roll with it. It's entertainment. It's not a big deal. It's not like we're trying to do anything that impressive. It's a zombie apocalypse show. It's just a fun thing to discuss, to break down, to have there. And, I was thinking about it when I started this channel. It was a physical therapy channel. It was different. It's adapted into things, and we got information, and it changed. Life changes. The only constant in life is change, right? So I definitely like the idea of talking about the zombie apocalypse, but it's just crazy that it's just a fictional thing. Like, it's not real. It's not a thing that should matter too much to us, but it does. When stuff happens to characters, we're like, what? No, I can't believe you do that. People watch the show over and over and over again on Netflix. I don't know how many times people have told me they're on the 5th, 6th, 7th, or 10th time watching the entire series. And probably when the show ends, they'll watch it again from start to finish. And that's cool. Definitely The Walking Dead is one of those shows. Like, I don't watch every show I've ever watched over and over and over again, but The Walking Dead, Sopranos, Friends, Seinfeld, there's certain shows that I can watch over and over and over again. The Office, and there's certain shows that I was like, that's pretty good. Or Breaking Bad, that's another great show. So it's just crazy too. So Mike Allen says, you want my sword if zombies show up? I actually have a katana with a red scabbard, and, that's kind of a basis for Ryan's sword in the zombie apocalypse of Fight For Us. But yeah, no, I think a sword is the way to go. Spears, swords. I think you have to have like a long range weapon, a short range weapon, and just a bunch of different things that you're covered with, like armor, where you can't get scratched or bit on your arms or your forearms or your neck or anything. Like, you're covered up pretty good. You have throwing weapons. You have guns, ammo, short range, like a pistol or a rifle, and a sword and a dagger or something, right? Like, you have to have all these different things where if you get on your back and you can't reach your gun because it's on your back, you have one on your leg, or you have a dagger or a knife on your leg. You have all these different things where it's pretty awesome. So, but ultimately, it's one of those things where you get to see a lot of different things in a zombie apocalypse show where people do dumb stuff all the time, but then people do great things. Like Daryl, he gets away with a lot of things because it's Daryl Dixon. Negan, same thing. Like Negan has been Lucille. That's his weapon, right? Baseball bat. A metal baseball bat would be better than a wooden baseball bat, but it's made for design. It's a symbol. It's pretty cool, but it's not functional. It's not a good thing. A metal baseball bat or a softball bat would be even better because of the range, and it just would last a lot longer. I always thought, one of my characters in Fight for Us uses a baseball bat with the donut on the end, so it's got a little more, a projectile thing, which is a blunt object to it. So it's pretty cool. Whether it's reasonable or not, I'm not sure. But Negan's rocking the crowbar, and it's pretty cool. Daryl's got the crossbow. They have the bows and arrows, which they should, but they're kind of limited with that too. So, all right, guys, I kind of bide my time for the first half hour. Let's talk about episodes 2 and 3. Kind of breeze through episode 2, but spoiler warning for The Walking Dead season 11. Going to talk about some things. Pretty cool. New weapon actually kind of comes up in the third episode too. So 1102 continues on with 1101 from 1101. 1102 picks up. Maggie is fighting off the walkers. She falls down. She gets away. She shoots the walkers with the pistol. That reminds a lot of people of Glenn's gun. Is it the same one? I'm not sure. But she gets underneath the train and actually pops up underneath. Reminds a lot of people of the dumpster. How Glenn saved it. I actually have a Easter eggs of 1101 and 1102 if you want to check out, find out more about that. But Negan and the group get into the train. They're there to, try to get away. Don't know why they didn't follow Daryl at all, but Daryl and Dog went their own way. Negan, Duncan, Frost, Agatha, Cole, Elijah, Father Gabriel, and Alden are all in the train before Maggie gets there. They look at Maggie when she pops up, and Negan before that said, she was right behind me. But we all know that Negan left her to die. He didn't hurt her. He didn't help her, though. So there's a big difference if Negan smacked her in the head with the crowbar or did anything with that. He just didn't help her. It's not good. It's not justifiable. It's not helpful at all. But it's something that does make a difference with him hurting her versus not helping her. It's maybe, whatever you want to call it. But ultimately, Duncan puts Negan against the side of the train, and they're about to, do something. But then there's a knock on the one door that all the doors are kind of rusted shut, probably from the flooding, probably over time. But either way, the doors don't open. Then we see Gage. Gage went away with Roy. Gage is there. The walkers behind him come in because he didn't shut the door like a dummy. Don't know how he opened the door, but Duncan, who's huge muscles, very strong, can't open the door. Maggie says, don't open the door. Gage is like, what? Help me, right? But Gage kills himself for some reason. Doesn't try to kill walkers, but stabs himself in the chest. Gets ripped apart. The walkers don't devour him. They just open up his wound more so they see. They're standing there looking at Gage, who's a walker now, right by the window of the train car, the door. So Alden wanted to save him, didn't. Negan, I think Negan and Alden wanted to save Gage, but the rest of the group decided not to, even Father Gabriel. Father Gabriel's turning the tide a little bit here. He's not the same Father Gabriel. He's about saving himself and his group. So ultimately, Maggie tells them a story about when she was with Herschel and the guy came along, and she says that the guy said that he had food back at their house. She knew he was lying, and she ends up killing the guy, and she goes around the house and kills some walkers and other. I think the women were pregnant in the story. We're not really sure what exactly it was. Were they walkers? Were they people? But either way, she finds food, and she leaves with Herschel, and it's a terrible story that basically these guys, or at least a guy, took women in, did unspeakable things to them, tortured them. It was terrible, right? So either way, Maggie builds the case that she's seen terrible things and there's worse ways to die than Gage did. But either way, the walkers are banging on the door. They end up breaking the door. I have no idea how they did it, but they did. They go in. Our group starts killing the walkers, but somehow the walkers keep coming towards them. Daryl, who went with Dog, came across a bunch of different things. There's a picture of these two kids, a $100 bill. It's got a message on it, a bag with a granola bar and a fake Twinkie, and he's in his own little world. He kills some walkers, and he ends up meeting up with Roy, who gives him a grenade and a pistol, and Roy is C. Thomas Howell's character. So Daryl kills the walkers with his Morning Star, which is a really awesome weapon, and he gets to the other side of the train car when our group is fighting the walkers off. They use arrows and everything there too. They try to get away from the walkers, but the one side of the door is being blocked by a chair or a row of seats. Negan uses the gun to shoot some of the walkers and saves the day somewhat. He actually gets the gun from Maggie, so you see the bonding there too. It keeps going. the Negan Maggie stuff carries all the way into the third episode. It's a really big part of the third episode, by the way. But Daryl opens up the door, uses a grenade, blows up all the walkers. They get out of there, and they go up to the surface. And as they're walking down the surface or down a street, they come across the bodies that are upside down, and they're being, Negan stops and says, we can go around. And when they're about to turn around, C. Thomas Howell's character, Roy, who was still alive. He was in bad shape, but he's killed by an arrow. And then Cole, who's part of Maggie's group, gets his hand cut off. Make sure you look for that. It happens really fast. And then our group scatters into the woods, and that's how it ends. But before that, there's a whole thing with the Commonwealth. Yumiko basically builds their case to get into the Commonwealth with her brother because her brother is there. Tommy, who's a thoracic surgeon, who's probably going to save Ezekiel in upcoming episodes, one of my theories. Eugene spills the beans to Mercer about a bunch of different things. It's really sad what he's had to deal with. And he is by himself because the rest of the group, Princess, Yumiko, and Ezekiel, are actually being processed to go into the Commonwealth. And Eugene was the last part of that. Eugene passes the test. They put the hood over his head. He goes into the train car. He sees Ezekiel, Yumiko, and Ezekiel, and everybody is happy and everything is good. Ezekiel talks about what he was doing, and he took cough medicine. The medic saw him. He slept, and Mercer comes over, reads this whole line to him like, welcome to the Commonwealth. He looks at Ezekiel and says, I went to West Point, a-hole. And so he was in the Army. But then he also says in Talking Dead he was a Marine, so maybe he did both. But ultimately he bangs on the door, the thing slides open, and then this woman comes in, which is Stephanie. She asks, who's Eugene? She looks, Eugene waves to her. She's very cute, she's very pretty, she's got a Lisa Loeb vibe, and she says, I'm Stephanie. Still don't believe she's Stephanie or the Stephanie that Eugene was talking to. I think it's a setup and it's going to be a thing. We'll have to see how that goes down. But they're going into the Commonwealth. They passed level 1 and that's it. So the way episode 2 ends, we go into episode 3 with the Reapers fighting our group. Mike Allen, Marines don't go to West Point. That was my question in my one video. You become a second lieutenant if you graduate from West Point. I know all about it. My brother went there. I've been there numerous times. I know all about West Point, New York. So my question was, can Marines be there? And then people said in the comments that people from West Point, a lot of people every year either drop out or go into the Marines after that or something. So I don't know how it goes, but I guess it could be both. I'm not sure. But you could watch Talking Dead. That's what Michael James Shaw said, that Mercer went to West Point, and he confirmed it there on the show. So it's kind of cool. I don't know. I just know that was brought up. So episode 3 picks up where episode 2 left off, and we see our group in the woods. The lighting is a little dark because it's at night in the woods, and we know that the Reapers attack at night. They set fires. They do a lot of things at night, very strategic, very tactical, very smart. So we see Maggie and Duncan and Agatha and Alden and Negan, Father Gabriel and Cole, Elijah, and Daryl. And they're like getting attacked. Cole, who's missing a hand, gets his throat slit. He dies. Duncan gets wounded. Agatha and Duncan get away, but Duncan dies later on in the episode. Alden gets wounded. I think he gets a knife in his side or something. He gets away. Negan gets stabbed in the leg with a knife. Daryl, I don't think anything happens to Daryl. He has his crossbow and he fires something. He actually runs away with Dog, and we don't see him the rest of the episode. It's very minimal Daryl, but he's in the episode. Maggie, I think, gets tackled by a Reaper, and then Elijah tries to help. Oh no, she gets whipped by a Reaper or tied by a Reaper. Elijah comes over and tries to cut the rope, and then another rope grabs Elijah and he gets pulled away, and we don't see him die or anything. So I'm pretty sure Elijah lives, especially since he's in the episode 6 or 7 synopsis. So we'll see him later this season, but he gets taken away. Maggie picks up Elijah's weapon and throws it at a Reaper, misses the Reaper, and then Maggie runs away, and that's the opening, which is pretty badass. It's pretty awesome. And it's really cool. Then we pick up back at Alexandria, I believe, and it's Magna on top of a platform. She has her bow, and she's like aiming at stuff. And I think they're vultures or hawks, but they sound like velociraptors. And I mean, there's like 4 or 5 of them flying in the air. It's probably vultures. But she aims her bow and she doesn't fire anything. But I'm like, there's no way you're going to hit one of those things. But she turns and we see Kelly and Carol coming back in Alexandria. They were out looking on for something. I'm guessing they're looking for food or something. I'm probably trying to look for Connie. I can't really remember what it is offhand. But they come back into Alexandria. Magna and Kelly talk. Magna is much more in this episode than we've seen her so far. She's in the first episode and then the third episode, and there's much more to her. So I don't know if they're building her up for her to die or what, but we see much more of her in this episode. She talks with Kelly. They want to talk about Connie, but Kelly's okay with it. She's okay with what it goes. Carol walks past the wall that they're working on, and we see like 3 guys and Aaron. And they got the wall kind of repaired. They have ropes, and they're kind of pulling it up. Aaron has 1 arm. Where's Jerry? Where's like anybody else to like pull the rope on there? I mean, Lydia would even be better too to have there too. But either way, they fix part of the wall. Carol goes back into the pantry. She's been in the pantry more than any other character. She was in there in episode 21, I believe, season 5. She's been in there a lot of times. And Aaron comes over to her and says, you know, you were supposed to be on the wall duty. Why weren't you here? Blah, blah, blah. I couldn't do it. I can't do this. And they need food. The MREs are almost gone. They still need, you know, food. So Carol's like, we got to go back out. We got to try and get horses. And Aaron's like, look, you know, you're not going to get these horses. What are you thinking about? You can't do this stuff. Carol's like, we got to feed these people. We're going to run out of food. This is a joke. They still haven't brought up Oceanside. Why hasn't anybody brought up Oceanside? Oceanside would have fish, boats, crabbing, lobster traps, something, mollusks, I can't even say the word, scallops, whatever. You can fish, you can get food, you can get, what are you doing? They don't bring up Oceanside. I really hope it's not a plot hole. We all know Oceanside is down, but yet, where are they? We don't know where they are. They didn't talk about it. They didn't bring it up. Either way, they just popped into my head when I was like, what happened to Oceanside? I have a whole separate video on that. We're still waiting on that. So ultimately, Carol goes out. Well, she runs into Rosita. Rosita is picking mushrooms. And I don't know what Oceanside. I'm on Oceanside kick now. She's getting mushrooms. Carol sees her pick up a mushroom, and she's like, nah, don't pick that unless you want Coco. Baby Coco basically tripping, like hallucinating, because it's a hallucinogenic mushroom. So they talk, and now it's Rosita joined Magna, Kelly, and Carol, and they're trying to go find horses. So they find horses, but they're all tore up. I think there's like 4 or 5 horses by the water. They're all bit up, chewed up, blown up. Horse heads are all over the place. Carol and Rosita talk. Rosita says that she dreams of Abraham. And I wish we got to see the dream or whatever, but she just says she dreams of Abraham. Abraham talks. Every time he's trying to deliver a message to Rosita, and right before he's about to deliver the message, he's shot and killed. So it has nothing to do with Negan because he had a baseball. But either way, it's Abraham trying to have a message to Rosita. Rosita knows it's important, but she can't ever get to the point that he actually delivers the message. So there's maybe something to that in going forward. And if you know the spoilers, potential spoilers, something happens with Rosita in the second part. If you know the pictures, you can see that. So it's pretty cool stuff. I don't know where it's going, but it's interesting. Then they come across, I believe, 4 wild horses. And they try to, rope them, or the one horse. They try to rope the one horse. It doesn't work. So they go away. And then they find the horse. They find the horses. They corral the horses in a paddock or whatever. They get the horses. They put the ropes down. And they say, I think Magnus says to Kelly, if a horse lets you touch its ear, it trusts you or whatever. It's building trust on there too. So they bring the horses back to Alexandria. Carol takes one of the horses away. And Magna comes over to Carol and says, I know what you're doing, but I hope you reconsider. And we kind of think she's talking about the horse because she's going to kill the horse and then cook it and have the food for everybody. But she's actually talking about Connie because she doesn't want to get the hopes up for Kelly. But then later on, Carol's like, come on, Kelly, let's go. Because you're not going to tell Carol what to do. If Carol wants to do something, she's going to do it. So it's really disturbing. It's kind of sad. Carol takes a horse into a barn or area on there too. She gets the horse to lay down, which I don't think you would ever really do unless the horse really trusts you. I mean, they really brought this wild horse in, but either way, the horse lays down. Carol's right there, and then she slits the throat. She slits the horse's throat, and it's tough to watch. I know it's not a real horse, and it's whatever. Aaron comes in and helps Carol, and Carol's upset, and she's crying. And I ain't gonna lie, I had to fight back the tears too, because an animal gets injured and gets killed, and it's sad. It's a little sad. So another horse bites the dust. So we got that the whole angle there. We get to see Judith, RJ, Gracie, and Herschel playing cards, and they're talking about their parents. They're not really around much, and they tell the parents always tell their kids that they'll be back. But then you see Herschel's side, like, well, I think they say that because it's for them. And Judith talks about Michonne a little bit, like, yeah, my mom, she goes away, but she always comes back. So could she come back? Could we hear her over the radio? Could she come back sometime, some way? Or does Judith go to her? That'd be pretty awesome. I hope so. But she's kind of referenced that she doesn't say Michonne. She says her mom. So I'm guessing Michonne. They talk about some things there. Then later on, after the horse is cooked and they're giving the meat to the kids and the people around there, Herschel talks about that, smaller bites the better. Eat it quick. And then they ask Herschel, did you have to eat stuff like this on the road? He's like, yeah, we had to do a lot of different things. So Herschel's kind of got a seasoned vibe in the zombie apocalypse, being raised by Maggie, being out and about. He talks about spiders being the worst. Imagine trying to eat a spider. It'd be terrible. I don't know if he's joking or what, but they talk about that. And it's a nice little step in the direction with Herschel, Judith. Is there a romance for them later on? I know they're little kids, but if there's big time jumps, could be there too. So I don't know. The future of the zombie apocalypse could be with his kids. Do we get another spinoff? I don't know, but it'd be kind of cool because RJ, Herschel, Gracie, and Judith, Jerry's 2 boys, and I think a girl, and also Adam. So they talk about Adam a lot in this episode with Alden because Alden actually gets injured. So when the attack with the Reapers happens, Maggie gets away and she goes to a mall. She breaks into the door and does this, and she's trying to get into the door. A knife comes and flies at her. Don't know why the Reaper gave away his position, but the Reaper missed with the knife, so Maggie runs in, goes in there down the steps, a la Rick in the first episode, but she has a flashlight instead of matches, so it's kind of a cool connection there. Maggie's trying to get away from the Reaper. She puts bottles on the doors that would sound if someone came in. She walks away, and the mall is like deserted, dusty, gross. It's definitely an abandoned mall, but it would have been cool to see them go there, before that. But either way, Maggie goes there. She's walking around. She walks up she walks up these different steps. I don't know how many steps. It's crazy. Like, how big is this mall? But there's like a stairwell that goes up like so many steps. I'm just thinking about it as I'm doing it right there too. So Tim Glover, hit the like button, everyone. Yes, please do. But so Maggie is walking up the steps. We hear a walker, and she's looking around. And the walker attacks her, sneaks up on her. I don't know. JR 3D, I'll talk about Frost in a second. I have no idea, but I would assume he's still alive. But so Maggie is walking up the steps. She's attacked. It's a stairwell, a different stairwell. Attacked by the walker. She sneaks up on her somehow. The walker falls down the center of the stairwell, but so does the flashlight. As she walks up another set of stairs, she has a lighter. She opens the lighter, and the Reaper that is following her, or one of the Reapers follower, attacks her, and she fights the Reaper off and then knocks that Reaper down the same kind of open, where the stairwell is like the opening in between it, and so the railing breaks, and the Reaper falls down there. She goes in a different walkway or a different open area. She hears a noise, and she sees Alden. Alden comes out of nowhere. Alden comes behind this like steel beam, and a Reaper comes and tackles him. Another Reaper attacks Maggie, Negan comes in and saves Maggie. So there's Alden, Maggie, and Negan. But as Maggie and Negan, kill this one Reaper or injure this one Reaper, Alden is getting like attacked and stabbed. So Maggie stands up, throws the knife in the back of the Reaper. The Reaper's like, ugh, and he throws like flashbangs and a grenade. So there's a big explosion and smoke. The Reapers get away, and Alden, Maggie, and Negan are there in the mall. So it's Alden who's injured. They carry him away, and Alden's got some slashes and cuts in his chest and stomach. So he's not dead. So they decide what to do. So they're going to carry him to the place where the supplies are, the place that Maggie wants to take, not the Meridian, somewhere else, because they're still trying to get that. So Maggie needs help from Negan, and Negan says, look, I'm here to help you. We're on the same team. But then Negan doesn't want to take Alden because he feels like he's dead weight. But Maggie's like, well, shut up and help me then if you're on my team, right? So it's Negan, Maggie, and Alden. They're trying to help him come along. So they're going along. They come along this other spot. They hear a woman scream. They're like, oh, so we're going towards the scream now? Yep. So it's Agatha. And Agatha's fighting off these walkers. And there's Duncan who's dying. Duncan dies. Maggie stabs him in the back of the head so he doesn't turn. Agatha lives. So it's Agatha, Maggie, Alden, and Negan are in the woods now. There's all these walkers. They decide how they're going to go around, what are they going to do. So they have to go this long way around because there's too many walkers. I don't know how many there's walkers still. I mean, the Whisperers should have had so many of them, but either way, there's still walkers around. It's still a problem. So Agatha's fighting walkers. Negan is fighting walkers, and then it's Maggie helping Alden, and they're talking about Adam, and Adam is basically being raised by Alden now. So Alden realizes or thinks that he's going to die, and even though he doesn't die in the episode, he lives at the very end, and he's still alive. So we'll see how it happens next episode and down in the rest of the season 11 first part. So Maggie and Alden are talking. Maggie's like, I go away for 1 minute and you're raising a child and, Adam and this. And no, we'll be back. We'll both rebuild Hilltop. We're going to do this. Like Maggie's being positive to keep Alden alive. Agatha ends up getting swarmed by walkers. She's the person that gets bit on the arm. So it was Agatha all along. She's the person from the trailer that people thought it was Daryl or Carol or Rosita. It's Agatha. So Maggie loses Cole, Duncan, and Agatha in this episode. So Frost, the other smaller guy that was with Duncan and Agatha, still alive, and Elijah gets captured or taken away. So I think Frost is very much alive because we didn't see him die, and Elijah is still alive too. And if you know the synopsis for a later episode in season 11, we know that Elijah's in it. So Frost, I don't know what happened to him, but we don't see him at all really in the episode. So Agatha is getting swarmed by walkers. She gets bit on the forearm because her sleeves are rolled up like a dummy. But either way, Maggie's going to go try and save her, and Negan grabs her and pulls her away. So Agatha getting bit is the person that Maggie wants to go help. They come across this burnt up, charred walker that's still alive with a sign above the walker. It says Judas, from the biblical Judas, the traitor basically. I'm guessing, right? I'm not the most biblical person, but Judas is, kind of a common character that we can kind of think can connect in the zombie apocalypse and, try to survive. So they come across the church. They talk, Maggie, Negan, and Alden. Alden realizes and still thinks that he's going to die. Just leave without me. But Maggie's like, we're going to leave you, but we're going to give you supplies and Negan's knife. And so they barricade the door with the pew. They talk that they'll be back. You better be alive when I'm here. So it's something that makes sense that they could be coming back for Alden, because Negan and Maggie leave the little church. They put the pews, the things in front of the chair or in front of the door. And so Alden's still alive. I see a lot of things talking about Frost. Like Lincoln says, Frost is a traitor, and that's how the Reaper has been tracking Maggie's group. It's been leaving tracks and tips. Could be. So we kind of thought that Roy, C. Thomas Howe's character, was a Reaper, the traitor, but Frost could definitely be the traitor. Frost is still alive. He didn't die in the episode. So he could be the Judas character. That makes sense. That's probably what it is. Right now, the way this story is going with stuff, it's kind of been a little predictable too. So I don't know for what it is too. So, but The other thing is Father Gabriel. Father Gabriel gets cut in the neck, and we see blood come out, but he lives. And then we see him later on, and he's got an ice pick in his thigh, his left thigh. And so he's sitting there talking to himself, and he's, like, okay, and he's trying to think about it. And then we see like a reaper running in the woods. The mask is on the ground, kind of like perfect placement, but he's running in the woods. So Father Gabriel rips the ice pick out of his leg, out of his left thigh. He gets up, he's walking. He comes across the reaper who's like holding his neck, so he's probably going to die. And the reaper says to, Father Gabriel, I thought you were a man of God. You're this, you're that. And he's like, God's not here anymore. But he doesn't interrogate him, question him, try to get any answers out of him. And then he just stabs him in the head and kills him. So Father Gabriel's not messing around, not the same character as we met him. He's come a long way. He's not even the same character that we met. I guess he is. I guess he's the same thing. He wasn't messing around in the season 10C episodes with Father Gabriel, Aaron, and Maze. When he was like, boom, you're out. Yep, I'm not messing around now. So he's still kind of the same character. I wonder if Father Gabriel is going to be killed off in the Commonwealth angle in the second or third part. Probably would be the third part if they're going that way. If you know the comics, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe he gets the White Death. That's definitely a thing that I thought about. I thought about that for a while now too. So yeah, I mean, I like the idea that Frost could be the traitor. It could be the person instead of C. Thomas Howell's character Roy being a Reaper traitor. Maybe it's Frost. It makes sense. They love to do that on the show. So when in doubt, give it to Daryl. Have a traitor that has been giving them information, the Reapers, Frost would fit that mold. And the name kind of too. And if you know the trailer for next week's episode, or 2 weeks on AMC, this next week on AMC Plus, it's 11:04. It's going to highlight Daryl, Dog, the person in the red mask, which I believe is Leah, Pope, who has an accent, maybe a South African accent. Are they South African Special Forces? If they are, Diane and myself have that theory. It could be coming true. And that's pretty cool when you get stuff right. Not always the case, but hey, right? Builds the case, and hopefully it's definitely something that sets things up for having good track record. Brandon Brown, Alden is getting the Gabriel comic death. What do y'all think? Why would Alden go on top of a water tower death? Why would Alden get a water tower death? It just doesn't feel too. So JR3D says, I feel they didn't show Frost enough for him to be a shocking reveal as a traitor. Well, what do you say about Dante? Dante wasn't this big a character either. Frost was in the first 2 episodes, and then if he comes up again in the third, or he doesn't come up in the third episode because he's not in it, maybe he's in there in the field, but we don't see him. It happens so fast. But he's not really, he's still alive because we don't see him die, but maybe he's in the 4th or 5th episode. If he shows up at the Meridian without our group, we know he's a traitor too. So the double cross. So we'll see how it goes down. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So, you think, Brandon, he's going to be on the cross instead of the water tower? So, yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. They did highlight a wooden cross outside the church that Alden went in. So do the Reapers go to him and string him up on the cross? It could be too. I mean, it makes sense. I don't think Alden's going to survive, but if the Reapers go there, it makes sense too. So all those things make sense. We'll have to see how it plays out. But ultimately, guys, season 11, episode 3 is another good episode. I enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this live stream, hit that like button. You can donate. You can do anything like that. It always helps out. Also, if you like, don't want to talk about 1103, I have a review that I posted. So I posted 2 videos this morning, 1101 and 1102, like Easter egg video. then I had my review video, and then I had my live stream right now. So I'm done for today. I got a video on Monday that I'm going to talk about Daryl and the thing he found in 1102 with the bag and the pictures and the money. So I'll have to see how it goes down. I'm super excited for 1104 and the rest of the first part of The Walking Dead, and also Fear the Walking Dead and the World Beyond. I still love The Walking Dead universe, going strong, and it's definitely exciting to see where it's going to take us. I'm excited to talk about it next Sunday. So next Sunday I'll still be here. That is September 5th. So in a couple weeks, though, I'll be away for a wedding, so I won't have a live stream, and I'll be gone for a couple of days, so I won't be able to post videos. It's kind of sucky that it's right in between, right in the, I guess, towards the end of The Walking Dead first part. It would have been better if The Walking Dead came back in October, because it would be right before the wedding, or it'd be right after the wedding and stuff too. So we'll see how it goes down. I'm excited to see how everything happens, but I'll be making videos when I can. I'll be back next Sunday for the live stream. If you're going to watch The Talking Dead tonight, like I said, it's Eugene, Maggie, and Beth. I don't know why Beth's on there. She's not in the episode 1102 or 1103. There's no real reference to her. I don't know why she's not there for it, but we'll see how it goes down. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below, all that good stuff. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. Support the PT channel any way that you can. Like, share, subscribe. We're getting closer to our goal of 100,000 subscribers because of awesome people like yourself. If you can get any friends or family or anybody to subscribe, it'll help us out. We're still in that goal of 100,000 subscribers. Hopefully we'll achieve that by the end of this year. We still have time if we hit. So we got September, October, November, December. We have 4 whole months. If we hit 1,000 a month, that'll put us right there at the brink of 10,000 or 100,000 because we have 95,000, right around 700. So it's real close. We're getting there, guys. But let me know your thoughts. Thank you, guys. I'll be back next Sunday. Enjoy tonight's episode and Talking Dead if you're going to watch it tonight.